Hey guys, welcome back. We actually have video today. We're super pumped. This is episode 7, and I have
episode 7.
I know. I have an awesome guest here, Dawson.
What up?
Wish I had a soundboard so I could be like, dun, 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 dun. Have some fun with
Get a little
it.
DJ mix
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Dawson, who are you?
That's a loaded question. So I am a private event and wedding DJ based out of St. Louis, and I co-own a company called High Class DJs with my dad, and we have about like 6 or 7 DJs that work under me.
Yes,
So
you do.
Wow.
I'm like all over the place all the time.
Yeah, for sure. So Dawson I've known you since you were like 14, I think.
Actually, I looked at it on the way here.
You did.
I did. Our first wedding that we ever did together was March 9th of 2019.
Okay, really? I feel like it was before that.
Well, let me disclaim that. That was the first one I had record of in my system.
For
so
just
it-
you?
That
Yes.
you did.
So it could have been
Yes.
before that.
Because
when
I
you were helping
remember,
dad out, kind of things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
remember you going with your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
That was a long time ago. 8 years ago.
So you
How
were just
old were
moving
you?
boxes then.
10 years old. Oh my
My
gosh.
first wedding I ever did was May 15th of 2015.
Wow.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think I met you when you were like 14 or 15.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah, like I remember I would.
Which would have been 2019.
Really?
Yep.
So
Or-
then, yeah.
yeah.
I guess so. Maybe
You're
that's
old.
when I met you. But I worked with your dad.
You're
before
actually
then.
getting old.
I am getting old. So tell us a little bit about your company, you as a DJ.
So, we specialize in weddings with private and corporate events, kind of a subcategory. But we focus on doing cool shit for cool people, right?
Love it.
I hate cheesy style weddings, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do the shoe game at your wedding, you're the one signing the check, so you can do that. But I am very focused on taking East Coast and West Coast elements of weddings and bringing them to the Midwest, because nobody does that.
Yes.
Especially in St. Louis.
Love that.
Like East Coast music of barely play slow songs, right?
Yeah.
So when, and you guys have worked weddings with me, like you get one slow song.
Yeah.
If that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, I was at Westwind Hills, and I didn't play a slow song, and I had a 3-hour dance set.
Wow.
It's just the clientele that I work for we don't care how we get there, but we need a party.
Right.
And we will cut out anything and everything that we need to be able to get to that party.
Right.
I have a wedding coming up actually in a couple weeks that's doing nothing. Like they got married in the Dominican Republic, they're coming back, and it's just a 5-hour party.
Wow.
From start to finish. Like,
I love that.
as soon as guests enter, like boom, party, and we're not stopping till
That'll
we're
be
done.
fun.
So no
That'll
special.
be an exciting one.
No special.
Nothing.
Wow.
That'll almost be like a real set for you.
Yeah, just like bring your own beer. It's in a backyard in some property in Ladue, and we're just raging
Yeah.
in the pool.
I
for
love
5 hours.
that.
I'm like,
That's cool.
we can do that. That's
Sign
simple.
Dawson up.
Yeah,
I love
like,
that.
I don't even need to build a timeline. I don't need to prep. I don't do nothing.
You can just go
got
party.
What time do we start? What time are we done?
Yep.
I love
That's
that.
it. Everything
And just
in
rage in between
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah, everything in between that is open format and
That's
go
so
with the flow.
dope.
So
And it's by a pool, so
yeah,
that'll be
I'm
even
like,
more
shit.
legit.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
work with that.
Exactly.
So
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So what is the DJ that brought you to a vision? When you started, when you were
Right.
young.
yeah.
So what DJ were you like,
Who inspired you the
yeah,
most?
who inspired you?
So I'm super different when it comes to that. Is I never looked up to the Calvin Harrises and the Martin Garrix that play like the Tomorrowland stuff.
Yeah.
Is I'm like, that'd be too nerve wracking.
Yeah, the crowd moving people.
Yeah, like
Okay.
play in front of hundreds of thousands of people. I'm out.
No,
Like,
I think you could
no,
do it.
like-
I think you could
Well,
do
I
it.
think you
Yeah,
could
well,
do it.
when you do something like that, it really just depends on if you really want to DJ or not.
Yep.
Right.
Do you just want to press play and act like you're doing it, or do you actually do you want me to turn these CDJs on? Like, that's what you really have to decide if you want to do that. For me, I looked up to a lot of wedding and private event DJs, especially in the East Coast, because I'm like, I've always been like, I'm not a fan of all the formalities that we do here in the Midwest, right? I like.
Give me an example of that.
Like the concept of not dancing until after everything's done.
Right.
I'm out. Like, we need to come in, have all of your guests by your dance floor. And I did a Jewish wedding in the Four Seasons a couple weeks ago. And they're like, Dawson, for the first 20 minutes, like, we're dancing. Cool.
Yeah.
We can work with that. So I brought everybody around the dance floor. They came in and boom, dance set, right? Like, straight off the bat, everybody was there. Everybody was energized. And, you know, for a normal Missouri St. Louis wedding is where you take, you know, you come in, do all your formalities, you dinner, special dances, and then you open up the dance floor. Well, by that time, like, you're either half asleep in a food coma or you're ready to bounce.
Yep.
Right.
Because, you know,
You got all the free stuff already.
right, you got all the free stuff. The only obligation you have when you come to a wedding is dancing. So if you can sneak out of that obligation, I'm like, shit, I would. If I was a guest, like, I'm
Right.
bouncing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to be able to have that interactive, and it happens in the East Coast a lot, is where it's up down, right? So you'll come in, you'll dance, you'll sit for salads, you'll come back up, they'll clear salads, put down entrees, and then you'll come back up and down. So it keeps your blood moving and also gives the DJ different opportunities to play different sets.
Okay.
So when I did this Four Seasons wedding, like, I did an old school Motown kind of Aretha Franklin, Temptations, like that type set when we opened up the dance floor.
Love that.
So by the time we got to the third set, I was already prepped and ready with hip hop and, you know, 90s and 2000s hip hop. So it gives different opportunities for different guests to have a set that's just their own.
Like
Right.
their vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, as you're still including open format kind of thought processes there, you're really kind of set in a structure of where you want to take these clients and these guests on this musical journey throughout your 3 or 4 dance sets you have.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So it allows you to really be creative in a sense of, okay, I have this laundry list of normal wedding songs. You push those out, you're allowed to now kind of be a little bit more free and then creative on that side of things. So it's more of like the artistic side of what you do. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So DJs were your inspiration on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Really, being inspired by these people and everything, you just kind of followed their social media, or did you get mentorship?
So I found a DJ based out of New Jersey. His name is Jason Janai. And he was like super influential in kind of the business that I've built today. He had all the cool DJ booths.
Yeah.
He played the house music that I play at my weddings. Like, you know, some people say that I'm the Jason Janai of St. Louis. I'm like, I'll take that, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's where all of our booths are pretty much inspired from, is the East Coast style events. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever done an East Coast wedding.
Not yet.
So different. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I've done weddings in like New York and New Jersey with Jason and all them, and just to sit back and watch and be like, yeah, we can never do this in St. Louis. Like, it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah, and I've had East Coast and Midwest families that get married, and they get married here in St. Louis, and the grooms are like, have you ever been to an East Coast wedding or know how an East Coast wedding works? And the first groom that actually said that to me, I'm like, no, tell me. He said, we will not sit down in our seats. Like, we will have tables at this wedding, but none of them will have any of my family members' names on it. Every single seat that will be filled is bride's family or bride's friends. None of my people will sit. They'll be at the bar, they'll be at round cocktail tables, or they'll be on the dance floor. That's it. They will never sit their stuff down at a table and sit down, ever.
Really?
I'm like,
Because they like to move.
they like to move.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
They like to move.
Yeah.
So having the ability to get to the dance floor quicker rather than get up out of your seat, put your shit down on the table, everything like that is,
For sure.
I'm already standing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's either I'm at the bar getting a drink, going to go to the dance floor, or I'm at a cocktail table waiting to get on the dance floor.
I love that.
I'm like, that works.
More dancing.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah, I love that.
And it's trippy when you try to do introductions that normally the DJ has to get the people set at their seats. Can't do that. Like, sir, I would sit down if I could. I don't have a seat.
Yeah.
Okay, stand off out of the way, right?
Yep.
Like,
Dodge that.
Yeah. So I'm like, that is just, it's a whole different universe. Like, you'll cross into East Coast time, and then you just are like, wow, like I could really get used to this. And you come back to the Midwest, and you're like, people are boring as shit.
Yep. We're all just paddling down the stream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, let's have some barbecue and dinner rolls, and we won't open up your dance floor till 9 o'clock.
And we're gonna do YMCA, the dollar dance, a bouquet and garter.
God, the dollar dance, man.
I feel like it's such a drag. So anybody that's listening to this and you're planning like your DJ music, we're gonna give you a little word of advice.
Don't do the dollar dance.
Don't do the dollar dance.
Please.
And I don't really I haven't seen it probably in a year or two. I think.
Yeah,
No.
it's been about a year.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
No.
Because it's a drag.
Yeah.
The photos are just kind of standard,
Awkward.
Right.
and if you want the money, just put a honeymoon fund. Or what else have we seen?
So we substitute when we have to do it, and like I said, I haven't done it in years, but when we have to do it, we did the cake smash. Remember when we did the cake smash? It's been a couple years, especially on my events. So the cake smash kind of took the same concept of collecting money, because that's what the dollar dance was.
Right.
Is we need extra money for drinks and beer and all types of stuff.
Yeah.
For honeymoon.
Yep.
So you take that same concept of collecting money, but you don't have to dance with your creepy third uncle on your mom's side that you've only met once.
Oh, you
when
bet.
You were born.
I know
Right.
what you're talking about. It's where you bet if the groom or the bride.
So
okay.
if you want the bride to get the cake smashed in your face,
Right.
you put money in her jar, and then at like 9:30, right before y'all are heading out, like that's what we do is we count up the money and we bring everybody on the dance floor, and somebody gets cake smashed in their face. Well, it also keeps people there longer because they have money invested. Right, to where when you do the dollar dance, you really want to get it in. As far as a DJ's perspective, you really want to get it out within the first 20 minutes of the dance.
Yeah, because people start to bail.
Right.
And then once you do that, everybody's like, okay, I've put my money invested, I'm gone.
Yep.
Where if I don't do what you have your money invested in till 9:30, 10 o'clock, you have no other option than to stay around.
Right.
Unless you just want to burn money, you're like, I don't care who gets it, I'm just giving you money.
Right.
Then cool, head out. But for the people that actually want to see how it goes, they stay around longer. I've had people give me Amazon gift cards. I've taken Venmo. I took somebody's truck keys. He bought a brand new Ford F-150 and was like, you can have it. I was like, cool, but I don't drive Fords. I drive Teslas, so you can keep your truck.
You could have sold it, Dawson.
Oh, I know. The title paperwork would have been a bitch. Call him on Monday, be like, yeah, I still have your truck. I need you to come to the DMV and get a title to me. So it's different things you can do rather than
a dollar dance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or just not do it at all.
Yeah.
You know, even bouquet and garter tosses are the funniest things to me. Like garter tosses, you never do anymore because the groom doesn't want to get embarrassed in front of his buddies and doesn't want to do it in front of his parents.
I feel like it's so awkward. It's like, here, look at my girl parts, or vice versa, whatever, in front of everybody, and it's just
and then try to get guys to catch it.
It's so awkward.
Yeah, because then you have to pry the guys from the bar. And then you have to figure out if they're not married. Well, no guy wants to admit if they're not married or not.
Yep.
Right? Especially if you're, 33, 34, you're like, dude, you're not married at 34?
Hey, nothing's wrong with that.
Well, but it's the concept from a man, perspective of what path did I not go down, right?
Right.
It's all my buddies are 33, 34, have 2 kids and married. And I'm the single 34-year-old.
Right.
Like,
maybe he wants to be a bachelor. Maybe he wants to go on The Bachelor.
Well, I mean, you might as well. You make a shit ton of money with it. Be rich by the end of it. So garter tosses have really went away. But I've even been seeing, even brides that want to do bouquet toss in our meeting that we have 45 days prior. I'm like, okay, that's great. And 9 times out of 10, I will go up to the bride 5 minutes before we're supposed to do the garter toss, and she'll be like, screw that bouquet.
Yes, I feel like that's happened with us a couple times.
Because they see when clients do stuff like that in their dance set,
it's taken away.
They're imagining that they're going to need something to fill a gap in their dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
They're like, okay, let's dance for 45 minutes and then everybody's going to be tired, so then let's do the bouquet toss, give everybody that's not single a breather which are married older folks. Let's give them a break for 5 minutes, and then everybody can come back out to the dance floor.
Right.
Doesn't happen.
No.
Like you circle your dance floor. So the people that dance within the first 45 minutes are not going to be the people that dance in the second 45 minutes, and then vice versa. You just it's like a spinning ball. So that said, a lot of people, once they see how good the party's going, they're like, I don't want to stop this.
Right.
Good.
They just keep raging.
Yeah,
yep.
They just
one
keep
thing
going.
that we saw that was really cool is it's a new tradition is where they're taking the bouquet, instead of throwing it, they're giving it to the longest married couple.
Okay.
And giving the bouquet to them, which
Yeah.
I thought was way cooler than just throwing your bouquet to somebody
they give it to somebody that actually
might
put the
not
time
catch
in.
it, or somebody that catches it. But we don't really see it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of touch on what Dawson said, I really feel that like everyone in Missouri knows the formalities of a wedding. So I feel like the new people that are slowly starting to not necessarily shift it too dramatically, but trying to get away from the stuff that we know is awkward, especially for like our generations coming up.
Yeah.
Might not have been so awkward because they were being kind of forced to do it back in the day, because that's what everyone knew a wedding was. So, Sarah gets, married on Saturday. Jamie just got engaged that prior Friday. 2 years from then, well, Sarah did this at her wedding, so I have to do it. I feel like that's a lot of things that happen. But again, when we do our meetings as well, we get so many questions of, hey, do we got to do this? Do we got to do that? Right. No, you don't. Like, this is your wedding.
Day. This is not your
We're
mom's
not copying
wedding.
anyone else's. Like, this is
your best
you do whatever
friend's
you need to
wedding.
do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some negative stuff.
Okay.
What?
Put a disclaimer. Do not hold any of these companies
do not
liable.
hold. We're not gonna
Send me a
mention
quick
names.
scratch.
Right.
We're not going to mention any names here because that's not who we are.
Nope.
We're going to talk about some negative stuff first, and
But
then
if
we'll
you know
talk
who
about.
you are, I can't stop you.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Tell me about your worst experience.
Oh, shit. It actually happened recently.
Really?
Yeah. So, like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've done, countless amount of weddings, and I've never had this happen for me. So, I was planning a wedding with a client at a specific venue that has a beautiful outdoor patio. So, as far as a DJ's perspective, that is always a red flag to me, right? Because nobody can predict Mother Nature.
Right.
So if Mother Nature gives me a beautiful day, that is great for ceremony and setup time. Because I'm not hot and my equipment will never overheat in a nice day during the ceremony.
Right.
Anything outside of that, it's a curse.
It's dicey.
It's a curse. So this client was like, we're getting married here, yada, 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 and we're not big dancers. Like, in the words that she said to me was, nobody is going to dance.
Oh.
I've heard that before. And it's all relative and it's all perspective. Like, I've had people
It becomes a challenge.
Right. That have 350 people and say nobody's going to dance, and 100 people dance. Well, that's, to them, that's nobody. We invited 350 people, and 100 of you decided to celebrate with us. That's damn near nobody. Okay, cool.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, how many people are you expecting? They're like 150. I'm like, okay, that's simple. If I can get 50 on the dance floor, I'm cool. That's fine.
Right.
So we get in, we get there, we get to this venue, and there's 8 tables with 8 people per table. So do the math.
That
64
math,
people.
That math was a little off of that 150.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? And I was actually worried. I'm like, did they pay for 150 and like only got 64 people to show up? Like, I'd be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, no, where'd you get 150? I was like, the bride told me 150. She was like, no, we've originally been scheduled for 64 and it's all family. So everybody will be here. Okay, cool. That works. So we do the ceremony. The officiant cuts out 95% of the ceremony. So our ceremony is supposed to last 20 minutes, lasts 4.5.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
I love that, though.
from a photography standpoint, the photographer wasn't ready for the kiss because she figured she had more time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
When we were all reviewing the script, because I get the script from the officiants for microphone cues, but I also go over with my vendors.
Right.
Like, hey, here are the shots that you want to get. Here's the order we're going in.
Yep.
Well, that officiant completely throws an audible and cuts out over half of the final script. He goes from the vows, which were not pre-written, which is very, very common now.
Right.
He goes from the vows to the rings to pronunciation, like in 4.5 minutes.
Does the bride and groom kiss, though? Did he announce it? Oh,
So the photographer was getting a side shot as they were putting their rings on. Well, by the time she got that shot and kind of understood what the next thing was coming, he pronounced them as husband and wife. So she's sprinting up the back aisle, turns around and finally gets she gets 4 or 5 shots of the kiss. So
okay, so she got the kiss.
Right.
So yeah,
but it was she was borderline
sprinting,
having a heart attack.
Usain Bolt sprinting.
You watched a woman levitate.
For real.
Yeah.
And the video guy was like, I don't give a shit. I've been standing here and just shooting this one angle the entire time. I got everything. Right? Okay, okay, whatever. So we do cocktail hour. We get in, we introduce, we do toast, dinner, first dances, all of our formalities that are typical in less than 60 minutes. From 6 to 7.
Whoa.
So I have a dance floor set of 7 to 11 with 64 people. So I'm already dreading life.
Yeah.
I'm
you're this is going to be boring. Just hit
now.
play.
Yep, you are contemplating what's going to
shoot me
happen.
now.
Yeah.
So I'm okay, let's see what we can do. Well, I open up with a slow song. So I'm this crowd is going to need
that slow
something.
Yeah.
So we get in, all 64 people come to the dance floor.
Okay.
I'm okay, I can work with this.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Play our next song, which was September by Earth, Wind & Fire, because it was more of an older crowd. Everybody vanishes. Not a single person stayed on the dance floor. Not one. Okay, well, this bride was right when she said nobody was going to dance. So everybody went out to that patio because it was a beautiful night.
Right.
Okay.
Which I feel like we do see a lot of that.
Right.
Unless it's a hype.
Right. And
younger
especially
crowd.
if you do mock send-offs or you do something else where you take the bride and groom and the wedding party away. That happened to me last Saturday. Is they went out and we had a 30-minute just kind of general nobody knew what to do because nobody knew where all the wedding party and the family and everybody went.
Right.
But once they came back in, it was fine. But nobody dances. Okay. Well, it got to the point that nobody was in the room other than me, my tech, the 2 bartenders, and the photo booth lady. Nobody else was in the room. Not one single guest. At that point, I had just put on a cocktail mix.
Yeah.
Right? Because I had pre-made cocktail mixes because we're normally moving and grooving and, getting people seated and doing this.
Yeah.
And that. So
you don't want to waste anything that you actually have preloaded, ready to go.
So I'm just play it, right? I had an hour and a half cocktail mix. I'm ain't nobody gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's literally just for me.
Just hit the Bee Gees, play, Ariana Grande next.
Yeah, it's literally just for me. So I loaded up into one deck. It played for 90 minutes, and I was just standing by the bar. 90 minutes, not one guest came into the room.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm okay, there has got to be something. Yeah. So I am there's got to be something here that I can do.
Yeah.
So I go to the bride and groom. I'm hey, I can set up a speaker out here and run a cable just so you guys can maybe we can have a party atmosphere outside. You guys don't have to join me inside. Mm-hmm. I can have my personnel set to where I can have somebody out here managing volume as well as telling me where I need to go because I won't be able to see you. So I can make something work for here. They're nope. Exactly what you're doing is fine with us. Well, it's not fine with me.
My skin is crawling.
Yeah, this is I'm an out body experience.
Yeah, I feel sick.
I don't know what I now. I think it's a me problem.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly what my mind would go to.
Do I smell?
Is the music too? And when we look at as far as DJs, and this happens to us, we go through a numerous kind of emergency checklist.
Panic list.
The music not working? Is the vibe not getting right? Is the music too loud?
Is there always 2 DJs with high class?
With me, yes. Some of our other DJs, no. The only reason that I do it,
because you do sets and stuff like that,
right? Because when I build my clientele, I build an immersive experience, which allows me to not have to do introductions and everything like that behind the booth where you'd see a normal DJ do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the middle of the dance floor interacting with guests at tables and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
I love that though.
Yeah, not only does it create an immersive experience, but it allows me to raise the price tag. Because not only do you get an immersive experience, but I also have 2 DJs.
And you also have a backup, so if something goes wrong, you have somebody to help you.
Right. If I get, knocked out by some disease on the way there, there's always a second person. Yeah.
Yep.
So if I get in a car accident or something that and all of our DJs, we always drive separate.
Yeah.
So he I have all of our main equipment, but he always carries a smaller system with him. So push comes to shove, if something happens to me and something happens to the gear on the way to the event, you will never not be with a DJ.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, and with my, package and everything like that. So Yeah. So this is about 8:15. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Eventually all these people will leave and I'll just pack up and go home because nobody will be able to hear me anyway. So they'll just come in and I'll be gone. So I'm like, okay, let me just wait this out. We're sitting by the bar. We're having fun with our bartenders and we're just chilling. So the groom comes in at 9:00. Okay, maybe this is a good turn, right? So then I jump out of my seat and I take a beeline to the DJ like I've been doing shit for the last 2 hours. And the groom says, Dawson, you've been doing a fantastic job. We're ready to go to bed. I'm peacing out. I'm going to the bridal suite. So is my bride, and we're going to bed. So you are more than welcome to stay till 11. I'm not going to stop you. We have the venue till 11. Or you can pack up and go home. Cool. Right? This is 9:00. Like 2 hours before we're supposed to be done.
What? All right. All right.
Okay. At this point, my photographer hadn't even left yet. Like, she was done at 9:30. So I'm like, okay, what do I do here? So I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in all 20 people that we have left. Because I did a head count like every hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just see how this is migrating. And we lost 40 people in 2 hours. So,
and it's all family members.
All family members. So I'm like, okay, let me bring everybody in and let's just do one big final song.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever song you guys want to play. And we'll do that. So we were done at 9:15. I shit you not. I was out of this venue in my car on the highway at 9:33.
Wow.
I was like, I'm out. I had 25% of my stuff already packed and ready to go because I wasn't doing anything for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't need more than 2
Party was
speakers
closing
out
down.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
So we packed a speaker and we put our ceremony rack up and we put our cocktail system up.
Yeah.
And all this shit. So I'm like, okay, I can literally be out of here in 10 minutes. And then I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and hung out for 2 hours. And I was in bed at 11:03, closing my eyes, ready to go to sleep at 11:03. Mind you, this wedding was supposed to be over at 11.
What?
That is a weird one.
Yeah.
So that was the worst experience?
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned.
Because you were bored.
Well, I mean, it was not necessarily because I was bored. Well, that was also a prime factor.
Right.
But it was also like...
You feel like you didn't do your job.
Questioning where did I go wrong?
I don't think you went
right?
wrong, but I could see where you're coming from.
Where in the night of is... I've never had that happen to me, so I don't have anything to base what's happening.
Yeah,
on.
you don't know how to.
I've never seen this.
You don't know how to navigate the situation.
Right.
No, and I've never had this happen to any one of my DJs, and I've never had this happen to any one of my colleagues.
Well, at least it happened to you, right?
So I'm in the dark here.
Yeah.
Like I am like a pandemic that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah.
Like what is happening?
Right.
And how do we combat the situation? Hindsight. There was nothing that I could have done. I've ran it through all of my team members 3 times over and all of my colleagues. And they're like, we would have done the same thing. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
At least I know that I did everything in my power that, could have helped this event. Mm-hmm. And even when I got there, the wedding planner was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, they hired me. She's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no. What do you mean? She was like, you are so the wrong DJ for this event. And I'm like, okay.
That's not how I wanted to start my day.
I'm like, hey, what do you mean? She was like, oh, none of these people are gonna dance.
But at least she was honest.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
Hell of an icebreaker.
What DJ should have been here?
Right.
Like, what DJ is bad enough that has to deal with this?
Yeah.
Apple.
Right.
It's an iPod.
Yeah, a Spotify playlist. Set up a speaker and let's go.
Yeah.
Set up one of those Ion rolling speakers.
Yeah.
Play a Spotify playlist and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I cashed her check 3 weeks ago, so I'm here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was one of the worst experiences I've ever had. As far as kind of guests are concerned, where you guys don't really deal with it as much, but we deal with a lot of drunk people.
Yes.
You do.
So
we get to see it when we're rolling out.
Yeah, so I get to see it once they're like super down in the dirty and dancing on tables and swinging on speakers and
like in their emotions
swinging
fully.
on speakers like a stripper pole.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yep.
god.
Yeah. And you, for anybody that ever wants to experience DJs outside of a professional kind of situation, I invite you to buy a ticket to a DJ conference because all of us outside our suits are just like the drunk people everybody imagines.
Right, I can see that.
There's a specific DJ friend of mine that is known for dancing on a speaker during a DJ conference at a party.
Oh.
And he's like an industry leader, like it's the funniest thing in the world. Like,
yeah,
at times pops up on all our Facebook feeds, and we all just share it with him. Like, hey, you remember when you did this? And now it's become like a tradition every year we go to this conference. He's like, what speaker am I going to swing on? I'm like, okay, yep, we can do that.
I love that.
But I had one guy. It was years ago. He was walking out and he was chasing his lady friend because they weren't dating. And he tripped over a tripod on one of our projectors, and our projector came smashing down onto the concrete floor.
That's not good.
The bride was pissed when she had to pay the bill, and I was like, just send it to your friend. Like, but the problem was she didn't know what friend it was, and I was like, I didn't even see it happen. I had one of our techs that was with me at the time in training. He saw it happen and came over and ran to me. I was like, did you get did you get anything on this guy? He was like, no, I was so frantic that our projector fell that I didn't look at anybody but my shattered projector on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's understandable.
Yeah, you can't be mad at him for that. Right.
You did what you thought was best. Now this bill has to go to the bride rather than that specific person. But I had one groomsman that was so mad at the end of the night that I didn't play Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks after he had profusely asked me, and I profusely told him that I would work on it. Little did he know it was on his best friend's do not playlist. And he was like, the one thing that we get the most is the bride or the groom love this song. Right? So it's the number one excuse everybody uses for their request. The bride wants to hear it. It's the bride's favorite song. Yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Right? And I always take those with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Yep.
Specifically, this guy came up and asked me about 6 or 7 times for this song. And he said it was the groom's favorite song. Why would a groom's favorite song be on a do not playlist? Didn't tell him that, but I was playing along with his game.
Yeah.
And he was like ready to whoop my ass at the end of the night because I didn't play the song. And I was like, okay, let me deal with you. So he was like, dude, meet me out back. I'm gonna F you up. I'm like, okay. Whatever.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, go get your bride, right? Go get the groom. And
This is the second time in 1 month that we've been told that DJs have almost been in fights.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We have a harassment clause in our...
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
So
So it's like...
now I do.
God.
After that guy. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But our harassment clause is very
vague,
subject to interpretation.
Yeah.
Where your guys' harassment clause is like, if somebody harasses us in any form or fashion, we're done. Well, I have to take on a little bit more harassment because somebody can prove, oh, he's just drunk.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's not really I'm harassing
Yeah, because you're
you,
doing
it's
like a
alcohol
party.
harassing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the party element where you guys are, if you get harassed during a family photo or something like that, you're like, I'm done. Like, you should be sober at this point and you know what you're saying.
Right.
Where the people that harass me are never clients. They're always drunk, third uncles, third aunts that hate that I'm quick mixing or whatever.
Yeah.
That just want a dog on me. And I'm like, cool. I don't have to see Aunt Susie tomorrow. Like, that's fine with me. But, so this guy was like, okay. I was like, get the groom over here, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, and I pulled out our list. I'm like, you see this song? Look on this list. It says, do not play. See the first one? Friends in Low Places, Garth Brooks. Take your buddy out to fight. Right? I didn't make that decision.
Right.
And he's like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. Like, yada, yada. I didn't mean anything. Like, I'm drunk. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just go home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just go home. Don't.
Yeah. So
we're doing our job.
Right.
Like it's just oh man, and there's nothing more that gets underneath my skin than when people at a wedding think we're just there and we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts.
It's usually like a bridesmaid, maid of honor, and we've been seeing a little bit of like snottiness from like mother of the grooms.
Oh yeah,
lately.
definitely.
Yeah.
And we're like, just let us do our job, trust us.
Oh no, I don't even let it get there anymore. I turn the charm on as soon as we get in the house. If mother of the groom's getting ready, I'm like, "Sup, mom? We're about to go have a conversation. Well, let's go."
Yeah.
And then I smooch her over and say like, "Hey, like,
If there's
you know,
anything you need.
if there's anything you need, I'm here for you. Courtney's here to focus on the bride and groom. So, you guys come up if you're having friends come in from far places, all of that. I do it at every single wedding.
Yep.
And I'm like, we're even probably going to include you guys on some, photos that you didn't know you were going to be a part of. Yep. I'm going to, be doing photos of your son. Why don't you come in and we'll set up a surprise first look with your son?
We've been very lucky this year.
So
we
it's
haven't
like-
had any craziness yet.
Yeah, so it's
Knock
like,
on wood.
well, I think that's because we've taken it now to like the next level of including that. So it kind of pushes that stuff aside. But what I've really noticed is like the bridesmaids that don't trust us.
Oh my God.
They've
The
been in like
social
12,
media.
12 weddings and it's like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. Or they get their
I did
camera
that my
out, or
first
they
week
get
of
their
doing
phones
weddings.
out.
Great. I'm so happy you've done 12 weddings in your lifetime.
I did 12 this month.
Yeah, exactly. I did 12 this month. And so like now what I've really been saying this past year is like weddings are very normal for us. Remember, I don't come into your job and ask you how to do it or tell you how to do it. Yep. So let's not do that here at this place. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and just let the professionals do their thing. Yeah. And if you really see something going wrong, step in and say something, but there's no need to be rude about it.
Yeah, just people get so sassy on wedding days. And
because I know you know your friend, and you've probably known her for many years. Yeah. But your friend hired us for what we do.
If it's like a jealousy thing.
I don't necessarily think it might be a jealousy thing, but it amazes me that it's the only industry that happens to it.
Yes.
Yes.
You wouldn't go to a police officer and be like, "You're doing your job wrong."
Or, hey, let's do
you
this.
You can't
and
shoot
this,
him.
this. Yeah.
Like, nope.
Yeah.
We're standing in a convenience store. He's robbing the store. No, officer, can't shoot him.
Yeah.
Nope. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
No, you don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let me revive this guy as a paramedic. You're not doing CPR right. I'm CPR certified from online.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do it.
Give me the paddles. I'm gonna shock myself and send a signal through you.
Right.
It's just crazy. The crazy stuff
right.
we
And
see
then you
at
get
weddings.
to wedding professionals and you're like, I can hold a camera. Great. And and even it's better on our side, but it's awful on the photography side of everybody that goes out to a Black Friday deal at Best Buy and buys a $400 camera and knows how to install Photoshop on their computer are now a professional photographer.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. It's
you
crazy.
Look at some photographers, some weddings, you're like, don't even send me this album. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to be a part of it. Don't tag me on nothing, please, for the love of God.
Yep.
Like I don't want to be
Crazy.
associated with this wedding at all.
Yeah, it's crazy the stuff that we see.
Oh my God.
You know. So we're gonna wrap it up just a little bit, but tell me, like, what's the best advice?
It's a good story.
Since you are so young still.
The best advice as far as like just in general.
Let's say let's do it just in general because you are so young.
Yeah.
Still.
I don't think there's a DJ as young as you, so I could say like, hey, like give another young DJ advice, but there isn't any.
Right. My best advice would be just to, follow where like you are meant to be. Yeah. Right? And I'm not a big religion person. I've never been to church.
Yeah, nothing against that.
Because it's on Sundays and I DJ Saturday night. So if you want
so
me
we're
to
all
get up
tired.
at 7 a.m. on Sunday, it's never going to happen.
Yep.
Right.
But everybody was placed on Earth for a purpose.
Yes.
You just have to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And some purposes are, you think you got it figured out, and then you do it for 2-3 years, and you're like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I know so many people that have spent thousands upon thousands of dollars in college degrees and have never used them.
Yep.
So figure out what you want to do and figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like figure out, okay, I want to be a DJ. What steps do I need to take to be able to make sure that
happens? So you're essentially saying like do what your heart desires and do it to 100%.
Yeah.
Right on.
Put all of your effort into it, and don't even like the people that said that I would never become successful as a DJ. Like, those are the same people that
drive you.
Call me and ask me for discounts.
Yeah, clearly,
Very true.
they did not see you DJing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, your biggest
Your words of advice, so good.
My wise words in many years.
So good. I love it. Well, Dawson, thank you so much for being on our podcast.
Thank you.
We adore you. We love you. We love High Class. Where can people find you on Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah, so Facebook is I am Dawson High, and Instagram is Dawson.High, and then anywhere on web, Facebook, Instagram, all types of stuff is High Class DJs.
Perfect. And we will post the links below. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this episode.
Yep. See you guys.
And we love you. Make sure to follow, like, and review us on Spotify. Peace.
Peace.